Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft Create Mod video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new update 0.3.2F, and there's some really cool things in this update. Before I get started, big shout out to Polartt and Rocket14 for breaking the news about the update so quickly for us. I've been messing around with it for the last few days. We're going to go over some of the things that they've shown us as well as some other things I've discovered. We've got some new fluid detection mechanics that we're going to look at, as well as some new belt mechanics. And we'll also be taking a look at what may be the best block in all of Minecraft, the Toolbox. So that's enough babbling, let's get started. To craft the Toolbox, we'll need a chest, 2 golden sheets, a cogwheel, and 1 piece of leather. Gold sheets on the outside, chest in the middle, cogwheel on the top, and leather on the bottom. And with that, we get a brown toolbox. And we can also name the toolbox. Then once the toolbox is named and you place it down, you'll see the name of the toolbox at the top. You can also color the toolbox any of the different 16 Minecraft colors. Now the toolbox, what it will do is it will hold 4 stacks of items in each slot. So for fully stackable items, that's 256 per slot. For items that stack to 16 like ender pearls and signs, you'll get 64 per slot. Or you can put 4 non-stackable items, such as tools or weapons, into each slot. And while it may look like just another storage container, there's actually a bit more to the toolbox than meets the eye. Let me show you some examples. Now, one really cool function of the toolbox is its ability to replenish your inventory. I'll show you what I mean. So in this toolbox here, I've set up a bunch of materials to do a build. Now if we just grab a stack of each of these and put them in our hotbar, what we can do next is hit the left Alt button on our keyboard, and we'll see each of those items that's in that toolbox. Now if I hover over a particular hotbar spot, I can select that slot to be auto-replenished. So again, we're going to hit the left Alt button, and I've selected the weathered limestone brick, so we're going to click that. Now you can see we've got an indicator on there, and the count has gone to 32. The toolbox will maintain a count of 32 items in that slot now. And if we look back into the toolbox, we'll see 32 have automatically been placed back in. Now we'll scroll to our next hotbar slot, hit left Alt, and then click on our spruce logs. Repeat for the granite stairs, and then for our window panes. I've switched over to survival so that we can actually consume these items as we use them. Now if you watch the number there, you'll see it briefly change, but then immediately go back to 32. So what's happening is our inventory is automatically being replenished from our toolbox. So you can see we've completed our project and we still have 32 of each item. And if we look in here, we'll see where each item has been consumed. Now we can shift click each item back into the toolbox when we're done, or we can simply press the return items to toolbox button in the middle and everything will go back in. Another way the toolbox can be used is when you're mining. Now since branch mines tend to be a little bit longer than 9 blocks, this may be where you might want to change the range of that toolbox. So let me show you how to do that. If you go to your escape menu, then click on your goggle icon, you'll get the create menu, and you can see we're in 0.3.2F. Click configure, and then gameplay settings, then select curiosities. And then at the bottom, you'll see toolbox range. You can see that's set to 10. I tend to do 100 block long tunnels, so you could set that to 100. I haven't tested the actual working range, so I don't know if it'll really go 10,000 blocks, but you can try it. I imagine there might be some performance issues, so do that at your own risk. But I think we could probably safely expand it to, say, 50. Okay, so I've got two toolboxes set up. The one on the left, you can see I have cobblestone set up in here. So what we're going to do is automatically replenish the cobblestone back into that toolbox. So I'm going to go to the last slot on my hotbar, hit the left Alt button, and now instead of the items, you'll see that we see both of our toolboxes. So we're working with our cyan toolbox now, so I'm going to select that one. And there's our cobblestone, so I'm going to click that and assign that to the last slot on our hotbar. And once that fills to 32 blocks, they'll start automatically going into the toolbox. Now in my light gray toolbox, I've got extra stone pickaxes. And we're going to assign those to our second slot. So we'll scroll to that, and again, left Alt. We're going to select our light gray toolbox and then click on the slot that has our stone pickaxe. So now as you see, we have our indicators there around our stone pickaxe as well as our cobblestone. So as we start mining, when our pick breaks, you can see it automatically gets replaced in our inventory. And if we look, we'll see now there's 3 left. And then as we keep mining, once we get to 32 pieces of cobblestone, it'll start automatically going into the chest. Now you see there that the indicators went out. Now that shows us that we've moved out of range, which have set the range back to the default here, just to show you that there is a way to tell that you're out of the range. So you can see the pickaxe toolbox is a little closer than the cobblestone chest was, so the cobblestone goes out first and then our pick. But if we go into our configure menu and bump that up and click Save Changes, we'll now be able to stay in range of it for longer. So if you're going to use this for mining, I would definitely recommend expanding that range out a bit. Now, as you see, we've hit 32 cobblestone in our inventory. And even though we are picking them up, we're maintaining 32. And if we look in our cyan toolbox, we'll see that we've accumulated some cobblestone in there. Another cool feature in the new update are some new interactions we can do with mechanical belts. So if we just put one down here really quickly. Let's say we've made that too short. If we just go to the end of the belt with another belt in our hand and right click, it will make the belt longer and move the shaft for us. We can also put a wrench in our hand and right click, and it will shorten the belt and move the shaft. Another thing we can do is if we have 2 belts that are adjacent end to end, we can connect those by right clicking at the joint of the 2 belts. And you can see it took the 2 shafts and put them back into our inventory as well as one of the belts. And with 2 shafts in our inventory, we can right click anywhere on this belt and separate it into 2 belts. So we can simply pick up that junction and move it wherever we like, or just get rid of it altogether. Another feature that they've added to the belt is that when chromatic compound is placed near a belt that has light emitting blocks placed on it, it will now absorb the light from those blocks. So I'm going to speed this up so we can watch that happen. And there we go. The same feature also applies to depots now. The last change that I want to show you guys I think has a lot of potential. We can now use content observers and stockpile switches to detect fluids. The stockpile switch will detect fluids in fluid tanks, and the content observer will detect fluids in both tanks and pipes. You can also use the filters on the content observer and stockpile switches. For example, if I put lava in this filter, you can see the output turns off. Or if I put milk in this one, it will turn off. Putting water in the filter, of course, will allow a signal to be output. Over here, I've set up a simple system that will move water from one tank to another. I've put a content observer facing this pipe. It has a redstone link on the back. It will output a signal and turn on this lamp when fluid is detected. And on this tank, I've attached the stockpile switch, and it is set so that when the tank is completely full, it will output a signal to this clutch, turning off the pump. So all I need to do is reverse this pump, and we can see how everything works. So you can see fluid has hit the pipe, so the signal's turned on. And as this fills up, we can see our indicator increase. Once it's full, our pump is turned off. Now if I come around back here and pump the water back over to the other tank, we'll see this will eventually turn off, and this pump will kick back on. So that's just a little system to show you how it works. But I could definitely see this being applied to some poaching systems. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching as always. And don't forget to go check out Polartt and Rocket14's videos on the new update. I'll put a link to their videos in the description down below. And if you liked the video, let me know by hitting that like button. I've got big plans for the channel coming up in the near future. And I don't want to see you miss a thing, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you all in the next video. Later!